The next speaker we're going to highlight is Willie Robertson. Many of you know him from Duck Dynasty, right? And I think it's so interesting because Willie Robertson is a CEO of Duck Commander and Buck Commander. I didn't even know that that existed. I'm not sure what that is, but
that's what the show came out of, Duck Dynasty.
Oh.
Because he started those businesses and he grew, though they prospered, and then through that he's a businessman, he's an entrepreneur, and so then the TV thing got going through that, and so it's a powerful God story.
Wow, it's amazing. And he is the CEO of those and executive producer of just what you mentioned, A&E's Duck Dynasty. So he's actually expanded his family companies, and they are, even though they don't look like it on the show, they are extremely successful. And the whole family, they're committed Christians.
Yeah, they're strong believers. I think, even with the things Lance has been talking about tonight there, they have made public stands, right? For example, in the political arena, as well as spiritually. And so it's amazing to see someone that's had their success, because when they first came on, right, on A&E, and really it was such a widespread success, people didn't know them strictly in that way. And if you remember, A&E didn't even want them to pray over the meal.
That's right.
If you remember that. And they said, look, we're not going to do it anymore unless we can pray over the meal. That's who we are. Now they've come, it's amazing to see what they've stood for.
That is awesome. So let's go ahead and roll the video on Willie Robertson.
Believe it or not, there was a time when the family behind Duck Dynasty was facing its own swan song. Back in its early days, the Duck Commanders had nothing in the bank and an $800 bill that was due. That's when Phil Robertson went to check the mail. And Phil found in the mail a strange letter, and it enclosed a check from Japan for exactly $800. But that unexpected check literally saved the family business and led to them becoming American entrepreneurs.
Willie Robertson's entrepreneurial efforts started in grade school, but when his candy business got shut down, he turned his attention to his dad's fledgling business, Duck Commander. 4 decades later, Willie, now the CEO of the family business, helped launch the mega successful Duck Dynasty television show. In his latest book, American Entrepreneur, Willie shares what it means to be an American business owner and how 400 years of risk takers, innovators, and business visionaries built the USA.
My father was he was a smart guy. He had his master's degree, played football at Louisiana Tech. He started ahead of Terry Bradshaw, and so I wasn't there. I don't know how good he was, but I'm assuming Terry Bradshaw was the #1 pick in the NFL draft in 1970, so I'm assuming he was pretty good. And but football season and duck season are the same times, and so he wanted to go duck hunt. So he wanted to figure out a way to make a living hunting and fishing. And sure enough, he came up with this double-reeded system in the duck call. And we'd sit around the table, and we didn't have any money, we was poor, and he would say, boys, we're going to sell $1 million worth of these duck calls one day. And we were like, I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but believe it or not, now we have sold $1 million worth of duck calls.
You all were on that show, though. They got you on, what is it called, Duck Commander? That was the first show?
Yeah, Duck Commander was the first show, and then I was kind of an entrepreneur when I was younger. I was always trying to figure out ways to get money. Of course, we worked for the family business, but unfortunately, Dad didn't pay us any cash, so that was kind of our initial investment. We had to fold boxes, dip duck calls. We answered the phone. We did everything as kids, and so I had me a good worm farm. I had an old boat that was full of earthworms, and I would sell it to the fishermen.
Is that a good business?
It's a great business. It's work intensive. There's a lot of work in the worming. So and my brothers kept stealing all my inventory. So I moved on. I started selling candy at the school, and I was making a fortune. And the principal shut that business down. The concession stand complained that their business was down, so they shut me down.
That's the trouble, going up against monopolies.
Well, there you go. I know it. I should have cut him in on the deal, I guess, looking back on it.
So great. And we're so excited about Willie. We were talking about kind of behind the scenes a little bit what's happening. The fact that he's going to be here is just really a God thing.
You know what it does, Karen? It really takes it to a whole new level because he's had his whole family, I think with his leadership, has had such an impact in the media mountain.
Yes.
They've also had an impact in the business mountain and certainly now in the political mountain. So to have someone of his notoriety, but also of his experience and how God has used him is really, I believe, with all my heart, it's taken the conference to a whole nother level.
Amen. And again, that first 500, if you get registered and you're in that group, you're going to be able to go to a special lunch with Willie. And just a reminder of how to register, go to kbs2019.org.
Working hard, the Rockies are calling you. Hear world-class speakers, real Kingdom leaders. This June 12th through the 14th, attend the Kingdom Business Summit 2019. Go to kbs2019.org. Learn from Andrew Womack, Willie Robertson, Paul Milligan, Dr. Henry Cloud, Billy Epperhart, Dr. Lance Walmau, Dr. Dean Radke, Karen Conrad, and Andy Mason.
You get before God and you say, Father, I am willing to do whatever you tell me to do to accomplish what you call me to do.
Bring your team to Kingdom Business Summit 2019. Check out kbs2019.org for all the info.